What's good, y'all? Listen up. It's your man DA. I have a question for you. Do you have what it takes to be a spiritual explorer? Do you have what it takes to be a spiritual explorer? Now, before you go off thinking that you know exactly what I'm talking about, let me explain. What I'm doing, I'm drawing a distinction between being a spiritual explorer and being a spiritual seeker. So having a conversation with a brother, and we were just talking about a couple of transitions and the journey that we've been on in life. And I told him about, my departure from Christianity and how I've just been kind of reading and learning and studying a couple of different things. And he asked me, he go, so would you say that you're a spiritual seeker? And I stopped and I thought about it for a second. And I told him, I was like, you know what? I'm not really looking for anything. So I wouldn't be a seeker because I've learned enough to know that there's nothing to find, right? In my journey on my path, I've come to know that everything that we need, everything we want is in this present moment. It's in the here and now. So what is there to seek for? And because he wanted me to put a label on it, right? He was like, well, if you're not a spiritual seeker, then what are you? And I was like, well, I guess I'm more of an explorer. And the reason I like that designation, if there's going to be anything, right? I like that designation because it really sums up what I believe the spiritual life is all about. One thing I know it's not about is grabbing on to one idea, one ideology, one way of thinking, one way of believing, one way of being, and saying, this is it, we've got it, that's it, everybody, you can go home, there's no other work to be done, we got it right here. But what that type of thinking has shown me is that does nothing but create more division. That does nothing but create more separation. And if we're truly going to be about love and peace and really creating this environment, living with each other in which everybody can thrive, in which everybody can get along, then we have to reduce the separation and the division by any means necessary. And what a lot of belief systems, what a lot of religions, what a lot of ideologies have done, and we see it in our politics, it's all about the separation. If you're not on our side, if you're not actively on our side, then you're against us. If you like apples, then you hate oranges. What type of thinking is that? If not egoic thinking, right? The ego that says, I must be an individual, I must survive, I must be me. And if you try to stop me from being me, then I'm going to hate you because of it. Don't get in my way, because if you do, I will destroy you. And that's all ego talking, because in actuality, spirit speaking to spirit, soul speaking to soul, knows that you're speaking to the eternal nature of that being, of that person. So there's no destroying in spirit. So this spiritual journey, these spiritual paths that we're on, it's about exploration. It's about going into the thoughts. It's about going into the being and the ways of thinking within the differences and seeing the wisdom. It's like, oh, okay, this points to that, and this connects over here. And you know what? We're actually saying the same thing, but just in a different way. And if we can get to that level, where we become more explorers and not seekers looking for the thing. If we become explorers, sharing in our learnings, sharing from our explorations, then we can come together and say, okay, what you got? All right, well, this is what I got over here. Is there anything that you can use in your toolkit? Is there anything that you can use to benefit yourself in your life? Because no one person, no one organization, no one entity, no one structure has everything that somebody needs. The shortest way to figure out exactly, or the shortest way to find, to obtain everything that you're looking for, is to get somewhere, sit down, and be quiet. Just like my parents used to tell me back in the day, get somewhere, sit down, and be quiet, right? Go into your silence, right? Your spiritual journey will take you a lot of places if you allow life to carry you along. Like, you don't have to be in control of everything, But if you allow life to sit you down, you just take you into your own inner stillness. Once you get beyond the mind chatter, once you go beyond what you believe and what you think is real, and you allow reality to begin to unfold, that's when you'll see what is. And when you can clearly see what life and what reality is, as it is, apart from your thought of it, you begin to recognize that there's nothing to fight, that there's nothing to fight for, but there is so much to stand for. There's so much to be. But you don't see that as long as you're looking for something, as long as you're looking for, the next 7 steps to whatever it is you want to have, as long as you're looking for the next modality to add to your belt that you believe will bring the transformation that you're looking for. The transformation is it's not out there. Like I'm telling you, this year I've gotten in more than a couple hundred hours of meditation, and the shifts that you begin to see just by getting quiet, just from getting still and not listening to your thoughts, but just looking at them. As they show up, they come and they go. You begin to separate your identity from everything that happens up here. And you begin to see that, it's not essential to live according to what I think about the world. Now, I know it's kind of difficult to comprehend that, seeing as how I'm sharing words, and all words are thoughts, externalized, right? But that's exactly what spiritual exploration is about, man. It's about seeing where the thoughts are pointing. Like, I can tell you about the sun all day, right? I can point to it. And your objective is not to look at my finger. Your objective is to look at the sun. I mean, not directly, of course. Because that's mainly what our religions are doing. They are fingers pointing at a greater, more transcendent truth. And what a lot of us have done is we have stopped at the finger. We saw the entire arm. We got to the tip of the finger, and we stopped. Because you said, that's it. That's everything right there. But spirituality is so much more. Religion can be so much more. Our practice, the way we live, who we are, can be so much more beyond the thoughts we think and who it is we think that we have to be. So, again, do you have what it takes to be a spiritual explorer? Because it takes courage. It takes radical honesty, radical vulnerability. It takes intense desire, but not to have, right? You're not just gonna step on the spiritual path and say, all right, my life's gonna be jolly and sunshine and rainbows all the time now. I got it. It ain't. I'm here to tell you it is not, because life is going to test you. You will think that you've reached a particular level of enlightenment. You say, I now truly understand what life is. I truly understand who it is I am. I understand what I am. And life is going to show up and say, word, okay. Here's your chance to be that, oh enlightened one. So once everything starts, man, don't run away. Stay in it. Stay in your silence. Get still. Because as infinite beings, we are fully equipped with everything that we need for this journey. It's a long road, and we don't have to do it alone. That's what we have each other here for. I think it was Ram Dass who said that. All we're doing is walking each other home. So if you do find yourself as one who is a spiritual explorer, or if you think you're a spiritual seeker and you want to find out more about what spiritual exploration is about, just hit me up, drop me a line, send me a message. Let's get in contact, let's connect. Let's walk home together, all right? I love you.